sugar-free and gluten-free are all big scams because if you look at like sugar-free foods, they have aspartame, they have sucralose. We know that these things disrupt the microbiome now. And I even bought into this crap. I was like, oh, I can have all the erythritol I want. No, you can't. Like it causes SIBO, like it causes gut dysfunction, increases risk of heart disease too. Recent research.
Really?
Yeah. So a lot of these fake sugars, like I found a few that I can tolerate. I can do a little bit of stevia. I can do a little bit of this thing called katemfe, which is a amino acid. I just started getting into it. It's really powerful. It's kind of like monk fruit. I can do a tiny bit of monk fruit, but I really just can't do all the sugar alcohols because they give me gut dysfunction. And I was
Right.
like, here I think you think you're doing the right thing for your body, but you're actually causing more problems. But it's really a challenge to get off of sugar. Like
Yeah.
one of the first things I did was just try to cut back on sugar because I was wearing this glucose monitor and I was watching my blood sugar spike whenever I had sugar. And I was like, oh God, this is a problem. And you do feel really crappy when you have a blood sugar spike because you're just hungry right after. And then your blood sugar's low overnight. And then you wake up feeling kind of groggy because your blood sugar's been low. And you've been like, kind of like your body's been in a stress response trying to get your blood sugar back up. So it's a big challenge. And I'd say that for most people, you got to do it. I recommend personally, I think cold turkey can work for people, but eventually you're going to end up eating it again. So the key is to just start really like monitoring how much you're taking, just tracking it and like slowly, like I did a month-long sugar cleanse and it did kind of jumpstart the sugar, addiction release, but I was able to slowly over the course of like a year really, really remove a lot of the extra sugar in my diet. And now I have like an occasional little bit of honey and a little bit of stevia, but I'm very, very low sugar. And I think that was one of the bigger things that I did to optimize my gut health and my overall health.
Yeah, it becomes really, really complex, I think, to get any of these kinds of things done broadly, simply because like I don't like to think of sugar as an addiction because I've been addicted to drugs and I know what
Sure.
that is. And I think there is a difference. However,
Yeah.
the similarities with compulsion are
Yeah.
so right there.
That's really a better way to put it, by the way.
But also when you take that kind of joy the immediate gratification that it presents you, and I'm talking about in your mouth,
Yeah.
in your brain, a
Yeah.
lot of stuff is happening when you eat sugar and your body is going, give us this, we
Yes.
need this. And
Yes.
then it's so abundant, so you have every pathway that the body uses to put food into it firing on all cylinders, and then you have it so omnipresent that it's at like Best Buy when you check out, when you go to buy a
Yeah.
camera and you're paying, you're
Yep.
surrounded by sugar,
Yep.
and at the gas station. And I was trying to come up with my wife and I was going like, I can't think of a store I've been to in years that didn't also have food when you're paying or at some point. And I realized, oh, this furniture store we were in, it was a very,
Yeah.
very nice furniture store. And she said, oh no, they gave me champagne and chocolate dipped strawberries. So even there was sugar
And alcohol.
and alcohol, right? And so
Yeah.
I just think it's really doubly complex. I think that telling a person like stop eating or stop eating sugar is interesting. For
So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, but
But
I think
I
you're
have something
objective. Yeah.
I think I have a way to conceptualize this that makes it a little bit more understandable from a first principles perspective.
Yeah.
So addiction and like sugar, something like sugar, what are we calling the sugar compulsion?
Sure. I
Like,
mean, it can be an
well,
addiction.
no, but like let's think about like drug addiction on one hand, right? And sugar, like a compulsion to eat sugar on the other hand. Like if you really look at the underlying things that these are doing to our bodies, like I'm gonna just shed some light on like some really interesting ways to see the body differently. So we have this thing called the biological imperative, right? We are literally programmed from birth, from our genes, to survive by finding resources through food and to connect so that we can reproduce,
Yeah.
right? So this programming is fundamental. And if you look at what addiction does, is it a lot of drugs and alcohol, they are changing your neurochemistry and they're actually hijacking your pleasure centers The downside of addiction is that they're giving you the feeling that you're supposed to get from being connected to others. They're giving it to artificially through drugs.
They're like
And
parasites.
we're supposed to get endorphins from loving people. We're supposed to get dopamine from connecting with people. We're supposed to get oxytocin from orgasm. We're supposed to feel, and you can also get oxytocin from just hugging someone and holding a baby. We're supposed to get all of these neurotransmitters from human connection, and addictions are like giving you these substances, giving you these experiences. But the downside is you're not getting the reward of the safety and the trust and the love that you get from human connection. On the same time, sugar is like supposed to come with fiber. It's supposed to come with phytonutrients. It's supposed to come with nutrients, vitamins, minerals. A lot of sugary foods do not come with nutritional density. So you're not getting the actual thing that you need from food, which is you need it to survive. You need it to help you survive.
It's
sugar,
also naturally very rare.
It's very rare to get a ton of
Extraordinarily
sugar.
Yeah.
Right. So like you had to go out of your way to get a beehive to get that honey. You had to go out of your way to make maple syrup. Right. So we have this like incredible amount of sugar hitting our pleasure centers, but food is also supposed to come with the reward of nourishing our bodies and keeping us alive. So we have these pressure forces in our environment with addictions and with lack of social connection and with foods that lack actual nutrient density. And so it's no wonder that we're so dysfunctional in our culture, because we're literally starved of connection and we're starved of nutrient density.
Yeah.
Like that's the real problem underneath the surface of both of these areas.